Hi, everyone, and welcome to ENGL 101 for summer of 2023. This is how I'm mainly going to be communicating with you as a class. I will be talking to you hopefully individually a lot on the phone and talking through email, but as a class, I'm going to be communicating through these movies. So you'll get used to being able to watch those to get information. What I want to do on this video, there'll be actually a series of videos. I want to go through the syllabus and talk about the policies for the class, how things work, and then talk about the schedule of assignments. So again, it's a series of videos that'll take a little while to watch, but it's important that you watch them so that you can understand exactly what you need to do for this semester. There will also be quizzes embedded in this, and the one will come up in a bit, and you'll see how that actually operates. And so it's important to recognize is that you need to watch these videos so you complete the quizzes. Those are points that go into your grade. So let's go through what we have here on the syllabus. This document is in Blackboard. I'm going to take you on a tour through Blackboard to show you exactly how this operates. But this is a document that's there in Blackboard, and I'm going to go through and explain what the policies are. I didn't even introduce myself. Manuel Manny Martinez is who I am. I'll be your professor this semester. Classroom, this is an online class, completely, as it says here, asynchronous. And so what that means is that there's not a specific meeting time. We don't do any kind of a WebEx or a Zoom meeting or anything like that. You're going to watch these videos on your own time. You've got my phone here. This is my QCC office phone. I'm here at home, however, and so that number rings to my cell phone. So you can reach me there during my office hours. We'll talk about that in just a second. Here's my email address. That's very important because you really need to keep in contact with me, and that's the best way to keep in contact with me is by emailing me. So make sure you have that, copy this, because if you try to bring this up in your QCC email, it might give you an incorrect address. It might give you the one that is, mine is, you can see is M.A. Martinez. It might give you M. Martinez, which is somebody else. So make sure you copy this one so that you have the correct address. Then you've got my office hours, which are 10 to 11 a.m. on Mondays through Thursdays, and by appointment. And during scheduled office hours, I'll return phone calls and emails immediately. So from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. between Monday and Thursday, I'm here at my desk. And if you call me, I'll pick up the phone unless I'm talking to somebody else. If you email me, I'll try to email you back immediately, again, unless I'm talking on the phone to somebody or something like that. But that's the best way to get in touch with, you can get in touch with me during those times between 10 and 11 a.m. If those hours don't work for you, you work between 10 and 11 a.m. That's fine. You see that it says here, or by appointment. So you can set up a time. You can email me and say, hey, I work from 10 to 11. Can we talk at 4 o'clock on a Wednesday? Sure. I'm probably available then, and we can set up an appointment then. So recognize that that's a time when you can definitely reach me if you just need some information right away. You can reach me from 10 to 11 pretty quickly, but then you can also set up an appointment and we can talk anytime. I talk on the weekends, so there's plenty of time to be able to keep in contact with me. This is really important because this class goes really, really quickly. It's important in any semester that you're, any class you're taking, no matter what semester it is. But in a summer semester, things move really, really quickly. And you definitely want to be able to contact me because if you don't contact me soon, we're very quickly going to get to the end of the semester and there are problems that we can't fix then. So make sure to keep in contact with me as much as possible. I've got a course description here. This is about developing your writing and critical thinking skills needed to prepare you for upper division work in college entry level into a career. We're also going to talk about your ability to collect information, evaluate it, and incorporate it into your own writing. And so we'll talk about what that means somewhat as we go through. I've got course objectives here. What happens is the department sets up certain objectives about things that we want professors to teach students in a class, and then professors decide specifically how they're going to go about that. So I include the objectives here so that you understand what we're working towards. And then you can understand why I'm doing it the way that I'm doing. But each professor does things differently. So if you have a friend who's taking 101 with a different professor, they may be doing this in a completely different way, but they're still getting to these same objectives. So I just want to put that there so you understand. Required text. There's no textbook for this course. All required readings will be distributed through Blackboard. So just keep in mind, you do not need any textbook. Everything will be available on Blackboard. And again, in one of the later videos, I'm going to show you specifically how I've organized Blackboard so you can understand where to find what you're looking for. Notes on a summer course. I've kind of mentioned this already, but summer classes are intense. We only have 5 weeks to complete the same amount of work as we complete in a 16-week course. So this is the same stuff, right? So that means that the assignments come very quickly, and getting just a few days behind can be disastrous. And since this is an online class, it's very easy to forget that you have assignments due. Please log into Blackboard regularly, as I say here, and stick to the schedule of assignments. So you should be on Blackboard every day checking to see what we've got going. Also, make sure to contact me as soon as possible if you have any questions or concerns about the class. I've said that already, but I can't say it enough. That's very, very important. Make sure to contact me. People who don't contact me have a tendency not to do well. People who contact me do well because I can give you direction about what it is you're supposed to be doing. So as I say, we can fix problems if we address them early, but since the class moves so quickly, we might not have time to address problems later. And then, as I say here, to keep us on track, all assignments will disappear 1 week after they are due. I thought about having them disappear sooner than a week, but it just makes things a little bit confusing. So I just chose a week, but a week is pretty far behind. If you get a week behind, you're in some danger of being able to not complete the class. So just keep that in mind that assignments don't linger. You can't say, oh, later on I'm going to catch up on everything. No, you need to keep up with the assignments because the assignments will disappear. Here you have the grading scale, what constitutes an A minus, and so each assignment is worth a certain point value. And if you can see down here, I've got these play posit quizzes. I'll talk about what those are in just a second. Discussion board, short writing assignments, I'll talk about all that. But those are all worth 250 points. You're going to have 3 outlines at 150 points. That's 50 points each. 3 rough drafts. 225 points or 75 points each, and 3 final drafts, 225 points or 75% points each. An AI dialogue assignment at 50 points and a final exam at 100 points. So all I'm going to do is as you complete those assignments, Blackboard will keep adding them up, and then that's your grade. And so you can always figure out where you are, how close you are to getting to that by saying, wait, did I do this assignment? Did I do this assignment? And in fact, Blackboard will keep a tally and you can look at your grades and see that. And so there's no subjective element to this. This is simply a matter of Blackboard adding up those points and spitting, and then I look at them and say, oh, you got 879 points. That's B plus because it falls right in there. So just keep in mind how that operates. So I have this list here of play posit quizzes, discussion board, short writing assignments. The first thing that we have here, play posit quizzes. When I give you these videos, I will embed quizzes. I've got a tool in Blackboard that allows me to put a quiz in here. It'll stop the video and a quiz question will pop up. You respond to that quiz question. That shows me that you watch the video. I will ask you something about what I just said, and then you will answer that question, and then the video will continue. And sometimes there'll be a number of quizzes in there. So let's just practice. Here's a quiz question that'll pop up right now. All right, so you should have seen that quiz question, answer that quiz question, and now you can finish watching the video. And so just keep in mind that that's going to happen throughout the semester. So discussion boards and short writing assignments when you have readings or videos that are going to watch videos that I don't create, videos that are that come from YouTube. I want you to make sure that you've read those assignments or watched those videos. And so there will be either short writing assignments or discussion boards, ways to make sure that you're kind of engaging with the material, and with discussion boards, making sure that you're engaging with each other. I'll tell you what the requirements of those are as we go through each one. But just know that those assignments are there. And again, I'll show you where you can find them in Blackboard. And then outlines, rough drafts, and final drafts. That's the main part of the course. So we're going to have 3 major writing projects this semester, as I say, right? 3 major writing projects. For each of these assignments, you will have to complete an outline, a rough draft, and a final draft. And you know it's important because I put it in bold, in that order. That's very important that you complete them in that order, right? I say it's vital that you submit these assignments in that order. And I probably should have put this in bold, that you do not begin the next assignment in the sequence until the previous one has been graded. That's really important as well. You're going to do an outline. You're going to wait until you hear my comments on that outline, and then you can begin the rough draft. Then you're going to wait until you see my comments on the rough draft, and then you can begin the final draft, right? And that's what I say down here. For example, you wait until after you've seen one before you do the other. It's really important that you do that, because that's where I'm actually providing some instruction about writing. I'm seeing what you're doing, and I'm saying, okay, some of that makes sense, but here's some things you want to think about. And if you go on to the next assignment without getting my comments, then you're going to potentially go in the down the wrong path. And so I want to make sure that you see my comments. You can understand, oh, so this is what I need to be doing next. So when you do a rough draft, I'm going to say, all right, here's what's working, but here's what's not working. Here's what I want you to change, right? And I want to make sure that you are getting my comments before you move on to the next assignment. And so that's one of the reasons, of course, why it's really important that you stick to the schedule, because you get behind, and then, the outline disappears, so now you can't do the outline, and you aren't going to get my comments from that. But now your final draft is coming up. It becomes a big mess. So you really need to stick to the schedule so that you can complete these assignments in order. I say down here, again in bold, so you know it's important, you must follow this sequence even if it means submitting assignments late. Right? Don't say, "Oh, I got behind, so I'm going to submit my rough draft and final draft together at the same time, so I don't lose credit." That's not going to work, right? Again, even if it's late, you've got to say, I've got to do the rough draft, and then I've got to wait, and then I've got to get the final draft. So that's really important that you do that, right? That sequence is incredibly important. And if you don't follow that sequence, as I say here, you might get a 1 grade on something. And I'll talk in the next video about what specifically a 1 grade is. The next issue here, the final exam, there will be a final exam. The final exam is just a reflection where you're supposed to think about what has happened over the course of the semester. And I'll provide directions for that. I said I was going to do the 1 grades in the next video, but let's do it now. 1 grades, it's important. There are only 2 potential grades you can receive on an assignment, either full credit or a 1. So that's it. I do not, it's not like you got a C plus on something, you have a 77 or something. No. Either you get full credit, right? If something's worth 50 points, you either get 50 points or you get a 1, right? And if a full credit means you've completed the assignment satisfactorily, and you should review my comments and move on to the next assignment. A 1 grade means there's something you do not understand and that we need to discuss. A 1 grade does not mean that you failed the assignment. This is really important. Some students get a 1 grade and say, oh, I failed the assignment. Now I'll just give up on that. I don't want to talk to him because I'm embarrassed about that. I'm just I guess I just don't understand what's going on. If you get a 1 grade, that means talk to me. That's my way of saying, hey, let's talk. And after you get that, after we talk about that 1 grade, I will change your grade in almost all cases. I will change that grade to full credit, or give you a path to what to do in order to be able to get full credit. The only time that won't happen is if you do something like plagiarizing. You submit something from AI or something like that. And so, as I say here, almost all 1 grades get converted to full credit. If you see a 1 grade, the most important thing to do is to contact me. right? If you end the semester with a 1 grade, you're leaving money on the table. You're leaving points on the table. You've got to. If you've got a 1 grade, the second you see it, send me an email and say, "Hey, let's talk about this."